This is the first chance Judge Jackson has had to answer questions from senators. Jackson described herself as, quote, an independent jurist while facing questions about her past cases and judicial philosophy from members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Skylar Henry joins us live tonight from Capitol Hill. And Skylar, many consider this day, day 2, to be the toughest day for Supreme Court nominees, right?
Right, Lorenzo, Charlotte, good to see you both. Senators had the opportunity to probe Judge Jackson, not only on her time served on the bench, but also her judicial philosophy, even questioning some of her sentencing history that was criticized in some cases by Republicans on the Judiciary Committee. And then they also had the opportunity to zoom out, if you will, talk about some more broad topics and where she stood, some of which she didn't budge. On day 2 of her confirmation hearings, U.S. Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson said her judicial philosophy is to be impartial and interpret the facts of each case.
As a judge in our system, I have limited power, and I am trying in every case to stay in my lane.
She also noted the importance of diversity on the High Court as the first black woman nominated.
It supports public confidence in the judiciary when you have different people, because we have such a diverse society.
Senate Republicans have characterized Judge Jackson as soft on crime and questioned her past sentences in child pornography cases.
I made sure that the victims, the children's perspectives were represented, and I also imposed prison terms and significant supervision and other restrictions.
During questioning, Judge Jackson said the First Amendment applies to conservatives and liberals equally. The Second Amendment is a fundamental right, and landmark rulings regarding abortion are settled law. But she refused to weigh into the conversation on whether the court should be expanded, calling it political.
I believe that judges are not policymakers.
The president watched portions of Judge Jackson's hearing yesterday and today and is proud of the way she is showcasing her extraordinary qualifications.
The White House says President Biden is receiving regular updates on the confirmation hearings. And so those hearings are continuing at the moment. We know that tomorrow Judge Jackson will face another round of hearings from the committee. Thursday is expected to be an interesting day. We'll hear from the American Bar Association that will testify as to why they believe Judge Jackson is qualified to serve as a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, and Skylar, can you give us some clarification on this? We know that 2 Republicans also made claims that Judge Jackson called former President Bush and former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld war criminals. What more can you tell us about this?
Right, well, Lorenzo, that was something that actually caught Judge Jackson by surprise as well. It came from Texas Senator John Cornyn, and it stems from her time as a federal public defender where she represented former Guantanamo Bay detainees. Now, in that role, she had to file petitions where she essentially had to name former President Bush and former Secretary Rumsfeld in their official capacity. And part of those petitions, they also had to essentially talk about allegations that the plaintiffs had put out, essentially saying that the government actually sanctioned torture tactics on the detainees, which qualifies as a war crime. Now, Senator Durbin, who operates as the chair of this committee, talked about this for a bit. He said that essentially Judge Jackson had the responsibility to advocate for her clients, and saying that they advocated on behalf of individuals that argued that they were civilians wrongly classified as enemy combatants of the U.S., but ultimately debunking these claims, saying that Judge Jackson did not call either of those 2 men war criminals.
Yeah, clearly, in this case, every word is scrutinized. Skylar Henry, live on Capitol Hill for us tonight. Thank you.